Are you ready to watch the Golden State Warriors fumble away their last realistic shot at another championship because they can't figure out how to sign players in free agency? The harsh reality is staring everyone right in the face. This once dominant franchise that revolutionized basketball is now scrambling like a desperate team begging for scraps at the free agency table. While other contenders have been methodically building their rosters, the Warriors find themselves trapped in a nightmare scenario where their own restricted free agent is holding their entire offseason hostage. The irony is almost too painful to watch. Here's a team with Stephen Curry still performing at an elite level, Jimmy Butler bringing championship experience and two-way excellence, and Draymond Green anchoring one of the league's most intelligent defenses. Yet, instead of capitalizing on this championship window, they're paralyzed by indecision and bureaucratic complications that would make a government agency blush. Let's address the elephant in the room that's crushing Golden State's championship aspirations. Jonathan Kuminga's restricted free agency status has become an anchor dragging the entire organization underwater. Every potential move, every free agent conversation, every roster decision has to wait for this young player to decide his future. Think about how absurd this situation has become. The Warriors, who once operated with surgical precision in building championship rosters, are now at the mercy of a player who hasn't even established himself as a consistent contributor. Multiple free agent targets have slipped through their fingers while they wait for resolution on Kaminga's contract situation. This isn't just poor planning, it's organizational malpractice. Championship windows don't wait for anyone, especially not for role players who can't decide where they want to play basketball. Every day that passes without roster improvements is another day that competing teams get stronger while Golden State remains stagnant. The most frustrating part? Reports indicate that the Warriors have multiple deals already agreed upon that are simply waiting for Kaminga's situation to resolve. Imagine having championship pieces ready to join your roster, but being unable to complete the transactions because of administrative gridlock. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn that could either salvage Golden State's season or serve as the final nail in their championship coffin. Malik Beasley, fresh off an absolutely spectacular campaign with the Detroit Pistons, has emerged as a potential game changer for multiple franchises, and the Warriors could be in mix. The numbers from Beasley's 2024 season are nothing short of spectacular. 16.3 points per game on 43% field goal shooting and a scorching 41.6% from three-point range. To put that efficiency into perspective, Beasley finished second in the entire NBA in made three-pointers, trailing only Anthony Edwards. His 2.6 rebounds and 1.7 assists might seem modest, but they represent exactly the kind of well-rounded production that championship teams need from their sixth man. Speaking of which, Beasley's second-place finish in Sixth Man of the Year voting wasn't a fluke or a weak year for the award. He genuinely earned that recognition by providing instant offense and clutch shooting for a Detroit team that desperately needed both. His ability to create his own shot while also thriving as a catch-and-shoot threat makes him incredibly valuable in today's pace-and-space NBA. Picture this scenario for a moment: Stephen Curry and Malik Beasley sharing the backcourt, creating the most lethal shooting combination the league has seen since the original Splash Brothers era. The defensive attention that Curry commands would create countless open looks for Beasley, while Beasley's own gravity as a shooter would give Curry even more space to operate. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's strategic basketball at its finest. Beasley's 41.6% three-point shooting on high volume proves he can handle the pressure of being a primary offensive weapon. Pair that with Curry's otherworldly range and shot creation, and you have the foundation for an offense that could torch any defense in the playoffs. The beauty of this potential partnership extends beyond just shooting numbers. Beasley has shown the ability to score in isolation situations and create offense when plays break down. That versatility would be invaluable during playoff basketball when possessions become more precious and defenses ramp up their intensity. Jimmy Butler's presence adds another dimension to this equation. Having a player of Butler's caliber handling primary defensive assignments would allow both Curry and Beasley to focus their energy on the offensive end. Meanwhile, Draymond Green's basketball IQ and defensive versatility would help mask any defensive limitations in the backcourt. However, there's been a dark cloud hanging over Beasley's free agency that explains why such a productive player remained unsigned for so long. Gambling allegations and a subsequent investigation created uncertainty around his availability, causing teams to hesitate before committing significant resources. The recent news that Beasley is no longer under investigation has suddenly opened the floodgates for interested franchises. This timing could be exactly what the Warriors need: a high-quality player becoming available, just as they're desperately searching for roster upgrades. But here's where things get complicated for Golden State. The investigation delay means Beasley is entering free agency later than usual, when most teams have already allocated their cap space and filled their roster needs. This could actually work in the Warriors' favor if they can navigate their own salary cap constraints. Unfortunately, financial reality threatens to crush Golden State's dreams before they can even begin serious negotiations with Beasley. The Warriors are operating with severely limited cap space, and they still need to address multiple roster spots beyond just adding a shooting guard. This is where championship team management separates itself from mediocrity. Elite organizations find creative ways to make the numbers work when they identify impact players. Whether through strategic trades, salary dumps, or creative contract structures, championship-caliber front offices make the impossible possible. The question becomes whether Golden State's management has the creativity and urgency to pull off the financial maneuvering necessary to bring Beasley aboard. Given their current struggles with basic free agency execution, there's legitimate reason for concern about their ability to navigate complex salary cap gymnastics. Here's the uncomfortable truth that Warriors fans need to confront. Championship windows don't stay open forever, and theirs is rapidly closing. Curry is 37 years old and still performing at an elite level, but Father Time remains undefeated. Butler brings championship experience, but also comes with injury concerns and age-related decline risks. This means every decision the Warriors make this offseason carries enormous weight. Missing out on a player like Beasley because of administrative incompetence or financial limitations could be the difference between one last championship run and watching their window slam shut permanently. The urgency should be palpable throughout the entire organization. This isn't the time for cautious roster building or hoping for development from young players. This is championship or bust season, and every move should reflect that reality. If the Warriors successfully navigate their current obstacles and land Beasley, it could trigger a cascade of positive outcomes. Other free agents might be more willing to join a roster that's clearly committed to championship contention. Role players often gravitate toward situations where they can contribute to winning basketball. Conversely, continued failures in free agency send the opposite message. Players around the league are watching how the Warriors handle their business, and prolonged struggles could make Golden State a less attractive destination for future free agents. The stakes extend beyond just this season. The Warriors' reputation as a premier destination has been built over years of success, but that reputation can erode quickly if they're perceived as an organization that can't execute basic roster improvements. As we watch this situation unfold, one thing becomes crystal clear. The Warriors are standing at a crossroads that will define their immediate future and potentially their legacy. The Malik Beasley sweepstakes represent more than just adding another shooter. They represent whether this organization still has the championship DNA that made them special. The coming days will reveal whether Golden State can overcome their self-imposed obstacles and make the moves necessary to contend for another title. The talent is there, the opportunity exists, and the championship window remains cracked open. The only question is whether they have the organizational competence to walk through it. Can the Warriors pull off the signing that could resurrect their championship hopes, or will we watch another legendary franchise fade into mediocrity because they couldn't get out of their own way? Share your thoughts on whether Golden State can still salvage this offseason and smash that like button if you're as frustrated as I am watching this championship window potentially close due to front office fumbling.